Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to build a basic homepage from scratch using the Divi page builder. Divi can be run as a theme with the builder built in, or as a plugin that adds the builder to another theme. Um, it's what I use to create my site, and I use it for all my landing pages. You can even use it to design blog posts. It's a fantastic tool. They've gotten better and better over the years. I paid $250 one-time fee years ago for lifetime access to this. You can do the same. It's 100% worth it. Some of the best money I've ever spent in my career. And I'm going to show you how to create the actual page that we've talked about using the builder. So let's get started. Click New Page. So this takes you into the WordPress editor. I have a plugin that keeps the classic editor. In case you're noticing, it looks different than the current WordPress editor. But don't worry about that. It doesn't matter for the purpose of this. What you're going to do is you're going to click on Use the Divi Builder. Now, you can either do this in the back end via the little grid like this. I've never used this. I wouldn't even know how to begin using it. I always build on the front end, and that's what we'll be doing here. So this is pretty cool. You can choose a pre-made layout, and they have tons of existing layouts that you can choose from. If you want to take a different design and then modify it, you can also grab existing pages and clone them and build from there. I do this a lot because there's a lot of site elements. You can see like the brand bar here and other stuff that I like to include across various pages. So I use that a lot. For this though, we're just going to be doing blank. So this is the screen you'd see if you were starting out blank. So first thing I'm going to do, we'll start with the section. How you would go about starting, this if you didn't already have an idea of what you were creating. You might make a couple different sections. These blue boxes are sort of the larger sections where you can have a different background in each one. So for starters, let's start with the hero shot. So we're going to make the background an image. So I could make it a color here. This allows me to add a gradient. I'm just going to go over to background image and grab from my media files here. I'm going to grab this background. Boom. Done. So this will expand as we add content to sort of the green content section here. So I'm going to click add. This is, keep it like that. I'm choosing the kind of how that green section subdivided. So let's see. So we got, scroll down to text. All right. So here, what I'm going to do is, and I'm going to be copy pasting text in here to make this a little bit quicker. But basically what you can do here is you can do, let's make this our, what I'm doing is I'm creating a page that's going to be usable as sort of like a live reference. So this obviously wouldn't be the actual copy we're actually using, but for the purpose of this, it'll make good filler copy. So I can show you how to actually design the page. So we do this. I'm going to make this centered. Then we come over to design. I want to change the font for, okay, this is the header font. Okay, so what I have to do, I got to do content, text, where we just were. I'm going to make this an H1. And then this is paragraph copy. So when I come over here and I click text, text is going to adjust the design for this paragraph area, and then if I do heading text, it'll adjust the design for the header. So I'll start with the header, change the font earlier, and then I'm going to increase the size here to whatever I want, so we'll do that. And then we come up to text, and let's change the font size here as well. Okay, so obviously that sucks. If you were using pretty much any other theme, and you add, the way it was set up, when you increase the font size in an area, it looked like that, you'd pretty much be screwed. Like, there wouldn't really be anything you could do. But with this one, that's built in, so you can adjust the line height. So we're going to adjust the line height directly. Literally, like, everything is accounted for. Maybe a few things, that a talented like developer could do, you can't do in here, but for the most part, you can do it all. So, going to do that. And then now I want to add a call to action button. Is that what that is? I want to add a button. So this is, you can come in here and adjust the design of the button. For the purposes of this, I'm going to add a pre-built button, orange button, that I've already designed. And you can, any feature you make, I could save it right now as a thing. So anything you like figure out designing, you can save it as a piece to use across other pages. So we'll come in here and we'll write CTA button. Now I kind of want to add a little bit more spacing around here, because I want this hero shot to expand a bit lower on the page. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add some spacing above this area by going to Design, Spacing. I'm going to add some padding to the top, say 50. Oh, so it looks like in this case, padding expands the button, so I don't want to do that one. So I'm going to pop up here and I'm going to go 50 in the margin, and that's going to do what I wanted to do. And okay, I like that. So I want a little more spacing above and below. So what I'm going to do is actually, first, to get a feel for the look, let's add the brand bar. So I'm going to go here. I want to add a black brand bar. So I'm going to click black. Do that. I'm going to make the thing in here 4 spaces wide. And now in each of these, I'm going to add an image. Add one of these. Now what I could then do is copy this, copy, and then if I want to change these, I just click on settings, I click that, and I change it over to a different one, like that. So now let's add the next section. Now you may notice, okay, this is too big. This isn't like I normally have my brand bar. So let's go here. And one thing is there's some level of padding and margins by default. So if you want to try to eliminate any that might be there, you come in here and click 0. And you're going to notice that shortens it up a bit, but there's still more, because in the larger layer there's also some additional padding built into this. So we're going to go here and we're going to go 0, 0, 0, 0. Now that's too much, so let's come in here and go 10, 10, and maybe 20. And there we go. So we got our brand bar. And obviously all these would be different for the sake of time. I'm gonna now similarly, if I wanted to add a little more space on here, which I do, I'll come into spacing and go top. Let's add 100, and let's add 75. Bottom 75. Cool. That's kind of about what I'm looking for. Now we're going to come down here, add a new row. Let's do this. We will add text on this side. Now I want to add an image on this side. Looking for a particular image that really doesn't matter, but we'll throw that one in there. Now I want to add a headline to this, but well, actually, another way we could add a headline. There are a couple ways I could add a headline. I could come over here, I could hover over here, click settings, and add a headline. Do this, and then add an H1 and do something like that. Or if I want a bit more flexibility, because that means that headline will be stuck in this content block. So if I want a little more flexibility with it, I can create another text, and I can do here we go. Let's do that. Holy. Whoa. Okay, let's do that. There we go. I accidentally pulled in a bunch of stuff from whatever I copy pasted this thing from. So we're going to do this. I'm going to say H2. Now I can just drag it up here. Yay. Now, one thing, I'd kind of like this to span the top. I'd like this to sort of go across the whole, above the image as well. And that's real easy to do. If you sort of maybe didn't want to do that originally and then you change your mind, you can then add a new, what we're going to do is add a new green area, and we're going to make it a single instead of the double like we have. And then we'll just exit off of this, because we're going to be adding our own section. So you just drag and drop that up here, and then we're going to pull this up in here. And then now that goes across the whole section, but there's way too much spacing in here, so we're going to come in here and do spacing. Get rid of that, and then we're going to have to come in here and probably shave off some top padding. I don't know what the default setting is, but maybe 20? Okay, so it's 25, it looks like, is the default setting. So then if we type in 25, nothing. Okay, it's maybe 26 or 27. It's around there. So if we type in 10, it'll drop it. There we go. That looks better. Then let's add another button, and let's make it like that, and add a little spacing to the top. Oh, made that same mistake again. 30. All right. Now, other thing I could have done, I could have come up here and just clicked duplicate and dragged that one down as well, and then modified it. But different ways to do stuff. So cool, we got a section there. Now let's add a testimonial. So I'm going to make the background my color. Then we'll come in here and add a text area. So I already showed you how to style the text. This is pre-styled from what I'm copy pasting it from. So then I'll come in, all I have to do here is come in and do that, and then come in and change the color. You can also change the color directly from here via this button. If you do that though, adjusting the style elsewhere won't change it. So I like to change things via the design thing as much as possible, just for more flexibility down the road. Done with that. Actually, let us change the text size. Alright, we're going to add a smiling face. Image, I'm blind. There it is. Oh, that's the wrong one. There we go. Now, obviously, that doesn't look right. So one thing we could do, we could change the size of the image directly. Sizing. No. Or we can change the size of the section. So I'd like this text area to be a bit wider and have more room, and then I want this to be smaller, so I can accomplish both objectives by doing this. Maybe even more. I don't know. Maybe that works, or the other one. One of those. Either one. Let's go to the next section. So I've kind of been tunnel visioning on the design here, but just to reiterate, we have our hero shot here with our brand focused value proposition. This is sort of just a simple way to display some social proof. And then we come down here, we have our condensed brand story, which is matching the problem to the solution. And remember, the focus on this is it's about your business, but it's what your customers will care about relative to your business. So it's not about what you care about with your business. We don't want to tell them a story that they don't give a shit about here. We want to tell them about something that matters to them, that really connects what they care about to what you're doing via the business. So that's what we're going to put there. Following it up with more social proof here. Ideally something that like really confirms what we just said in the brand story. Then this is the section where we can... I'm going to actually grab this. This is the section where we get into, if we have multiple services, which the only reason we'd ever build a brand building homepage is if we want to send people to multiple different services, or we want to give them the option of multiple services. We don't want to pigeonhole them directly into one service. If we have one main service that's like the bulk of our business, we do want to do that. So we would make the home page the service page for that specific service, and then we're doing a service specific value proposition, and we're not telling a brand story. We're talking very specifically about the benefits and value of our product. But assuming that's not the direction we're at, assuming we have multiple services and different visitors coming into our site might be interested in different ones and not interested in the others, this is kind of how we account for that. And then at this stage in the page, we want to give them those options and try to get them where they're going, so to speak. So we would have so one thing that's nice about this builder, if you do something that is going to take more time to fix than you want to invest, you just click undo button on a landing page builder. Only one I've come across that has that, although I'm sure more and more sites are adding it. But there we go. And then just throw this in here. I stopped looking at all other, I had tried 3 or 4 different ones before using Divis, and as soon as I used Divis, I stopped messing around with any other ones. I've only been using Divi since, and I have 0 regrets. It's amazing. So I guess I can stop on that pitch. You've already heard it. So here we go we're going to add some images for our services. I have some pre-made images in here from some other stuff, so we'll throw this in here. Then we will copy paste. I like to adjust the formatting if needed with the first one, so then when I copy paste, it brings along all the formatting adjustments I've made. So that's just a little tip. And then we can come in here and add the different images for each one. I won't do it for all of them, just so you can see. And then we'll come in here, add a little text area. Adjust this. So the reason I like to do a little text area here is just to provide like a little, this is like sort of where you pitch each service. You want to introduce and provide context for the services, but then we want to dive in and offer a description for each one. So we're going to do this. We'll copy, paste, and adjust, same as before. And then you can also, you want to make the images clickable, which is easy to do. All you have to do is, where did that guy go? Oops. Okay, so this guy's trolling. So they did actually add a feature where dragging into a non-area creates a new area. I find it to be more annoying than helpful because it's real easy to change the areas here, but not a big deal to change it back. Then let's add our buttons. CTA. That's right, I was going to show you how to make these clickable. So go in here, link, literally all you do, add a link there, and it's clickable. Easy as that. And you can see how quickly I can find these features. It took a tiny bit the first time I was going through. Oh, that's weird. It took a little bit to learn the new features when I was first learning this builder. But once I figured it out, like it's really not that complicated. Like I don't create stuff in here all that frequently, but like, once you kind of figure out how it works, it's very intuitive. Doesn't take long. So we got our thing here. Let's add a little. Let's add that same background image just to be cute. Add a little character to it, and then one thing, like, this is kind of cramped, so I'd like to expand this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to Design, Sizing. I want to create a little more separation between each one. So let's go up to 4, 3. Let's do 3. 3. And then width, the max width is at 1100. Let's make it bigger. Let's do 1400. And then now that those are kind of big, let's there we go. Something like that. On to the next section, and now I have a really sweet other testimonial that I want to add here. So let's just come up here, copy this whole section, drag it down, then maybe let's kind of switch the side to kind of bury it up a little bit. So we'll do that, and then I'll move this guy over here, just drag and drop. And I'll bring this one over here. Oh. There we go. And then I will, we'll change it to this guy and put, it didn't work. Oh, it did work. And then we'll pretend we have another testimonial that's going in here. And then let's add. So at this point, we've hit kind of all the main things we want to do. So what we want to think about is, okay, let's say someone, and I would typically, with these buttons, I would send these to the contact page usually. Like, especially if you're a service business, and that's the ultimate ending, is we're wanting them to fill out our contact form. I'd make these buttons sending them straight to your contact page, even if you have like a contact form below, or scroll it down to a contact form below maybe. But probably send it, because most people include a contact page just because visitors expect it. So you might as well, if it's not a page specific contact page, just send them over to that one. So that's what I typically recommend. And so if they click on this button, it takes them to the contact page. What that's saying is, if they love your business so much just from the value proposition, they read it and go, this is exactly what I need. Say no more, fam. Let's do it. You want to give them a way to immediately contact you. But there's a good chance that's not going to be the case. So you also want them to have the option to continue, scrolling and learning. So they come down here, they read the brand story. Now, some people don't put the CTA button here. What if they read your brand story and they're sold and they want to work with you? They're not 100% sure exactly what they need. You're solving something they want, and they know they want to work with you, but they can't click on anything, so they keep scrolling, and then they see 4 different services, and then they're kind of confused, and then they start second guessing. Like, these are a little bit, I'm sort of stretching here, but this stuff can happen. If someone's ready to reach out to you, give them the option. Let them click straight to the contact page. And then if they're not, they're like, okay, I'm following, but I let's keep seeing the pitch, and then they come here and they're like, okay, this is the specific service I wanted. So they click through that. We have that opportunity for them. And then on that page, we're focusing solely on that service, solely messaging the people who would be interested in that service, because it could be that, service 1, the audience is quite different from service 2, and that's why we didn't want to just make this page a single service page, is because then if someone came, say that, like, for example, say this is copywriting and this is content strategy. People who are interested in copywriting may not have any interest in content strategy. So if they show up to my, if they showed up to my homepage and I'm talking about copywriting and they wanted to work with me on content strategy, they're going to be kind of confused and maybe leave. They may not dig for the content strategy bit. Whereas if, I sell myself here, I talk about how I solve, my customers' problems here, and then here I have 2 service options, content strategy or copywriting, which is what my old homepage had. Then they're going to go, okay, they can decide, they can go to that one, and then my messaging is specifically targeted on them. So now then the next step is, what if they see that, they see the services, they're still not quite ready, like they still haven't done anything. From there, this is where things are a little more supplemental, because if a little more flexible, because if they haven't clicked on something at this point, they're probably not an ideal fit, or they're probably just really skeptical. So the idea here is we might want to add a little bit more reinforcement, and that's typically what I like to do. So for this, and it's something you see on a lot of pages where they're like, will sort of be features or something where they run through. Oh, I haven't created a green box here, so I got to create this for the text thing to fit into. So that goes in there. We will say, so this is where we want to list out everything that like serves to differentiate our business. As I say in here, they haven't clicked through to the service page yet, they still want more proof, or they're just not a good fit, but they're not ready to leave yet. List everything you can put here that sort of proves, you're the best. And so one feature you can use here is the Blurb feature, which is kind of cool. So what this allows you to do, Divi has a bunch of pre-built icons. So you can select an icon in here, kind of like you see on businesses where it's like like if you are a e-commerce business, something with a shopping cart, we've increased checkout experiences 50%, whatever. So we will make this left like that. Then you can make the size bigger. And then, let's see, put the title here. We're the best ever. Description of why, or how you're the best ever, something like that. Then you make a bunch, you make like, actually, make a few of those. We'll space this one out 30. Boom. 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 We've all seen stuff like that, like little thing where they have the features and things like that. So nothing complicated. And then maybe we finish off with with a big, like, brightly colored close. So this white. Final call to action. And then we would fix the formatting on this, and then add a white button. A white button somewhere, but I don't know where it is. Buttons are pretty easy to design. There we go. Once more, adding the spacing. Then we'll add some more spacing below this so it's not too hidden to the bottom of the page. Say 75. 3 times in one session. That's embarrassing. Okay, there we go. So, there you go. Nothing too complicated. You can see how quickly this can be done. Obviously, you know, if you have the copy pre-written especially, this was, you know, I don't know exactly how long we've been on here, but maybe 15, 20 minutes. So, value proposition, little social proof, brand story, more social proof, services, redirect. We're trying to redirect them to the right spot where we can give them the full targeted pitch specifically for them. More social proof, kind of, you know, throw anything else that we have to verify, like, you know, if it's an established business and they have lots of, like, you know, media features and stuff like that, you could potentially throw like some clippings of features, or you could throw, you know, a video. I mean, if you have a brand introduction video, I'd recommend throwing that up here, or in the brand story section, one of these two sections. But, you know, anything else that you can add that you think, you know, maybe you didn't quite cover up here, but that really helps bring home the value that your brand offers. And then always finish with a close. Like, you know, no one should ever get to a single page on your website, get to the bottom, and not know what to do next. So keep that in mind, and that's pretty much it. That's the full thing. So what's going to happen is I have a you know, slightly more polished version of this that I have live, and if you know, I'm going to publish this page, and so you should have, you know, by the virtue of having this video, you should also have access to this page that you can hop on and, you know, and kind of reference at any time. You know, anytime you want a base template to kind of, you know, have a page, you can look at this and kind of plan out your own page off of this, either directly or making adjustments. Just a helpful reference for you there. That's just a URL away. So hopefully that was helpful. And you know, if I haven't sold you on getting Divi yet, I don't know it will. I'm sure I've included a link for you to get that if that's what you want to do. You can also use, you know, you can use another builder. There's other builders that are somewhat similar to Divi that are also, you know, lots of them are good. Divi's just the first one I came across. I've been nothing but happy with it since the first day I got it. So few software tools I can say that about. And I literally know 3 different full-time designers, WordPress designers, who from the moment they came across Divi, they've used Divi for their clients exclusively, which I think is a pretty telling referral right there. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will catch you later.